Hello, everyone. I am so excited to welcome you to today's second episode of Care Sandwich Live here on social media. If you're listening on Spotify, then it's not live, but it's still going to be awesome, I promise. So, I have a really awesome guest today. He's going to come on the virtual stage here in a second. But first, check out this video.
Welcome to Care Sandwich, the podcast where we dive into the success journeys of law firm owners across the country. I'm Margarita Everline, your host and the founder of Marketing Boss, a fractional chief marketing officer firm for law firms. On this show, we'll explore the challenges, strategies, and victories that have shaped law firms and how they wrap every interaction with care. Because we believe that caring isn't just a value, it's a strategy for success. So grab your favorite sandwich, sit back, and let's dig into a conversation filled with insight, inspiration, and of course, a lot of care.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. So, I have a very unique guest to introduce you to. Come on to the stage. So, James Keller is a personal injury attorney. And tell us, where are you located? What do you do? And what makes you so different from all the other personal injury attorneys near you?
Well, first of all, Margarita, thank you so much for having me here. I don't promise to be as cool as that lawyer slow walking down the stairs in your intro video, but I'm excited to be here because I think who you are and what you bring to the table is amazing. Personal injury lawyers all across the country care for their clients. We're no exception. We're located in Michigan. In fact, our firm was founded in South Bend, Indiana, which is right on the Indiana-Michigan border. We're located throughout Indiana with a main office in Indianapolis. We have another main office out in Albuquerque, New Mexico. So we serve the Albuquerque market, the Indiana market, and also the Michigan market with offices throughout.
So, this is exciting. And you're such a unique guest because of your footprint. How did you do that? Like, tell us your story. Like, how did you get there?
Well, it's probably a story like others. My grandfather started this firm, George Keller, and I followed in my father's footsteps. I took on a partner by the name of Randall Jurgensen, who is still with me here today, and we grew the firm. So started in kind of Michigan, South Bend, Indiana. We grew throughout Indiana. And then one day we wanted to scale a bit more. We thought we could bring our services, which are a little bit different than others, to New Mexico. We frankly were looking to expand to the West. We wanted a warmer, nicer, sunnier place to be.
I was
Right
just
now,
about to ask, why the West? It's cold in
well,
Michigan. I don't want to be there.
that's a very good question. We we are involved in a project called Samantha's House, and it is a project where we give a handicap van to a family once a year. And I've assembled a board of non lawyers that help us with this project. We do a golf outing, and this gets back to New Mexico. What happened is we were looking at Columbus, Ohio. We were looking at Lexington, Louisville, all of these Midwestern markets. And one of the guys who owns a home building company, because at that time we were providing homes to handicapped families, they were opening a place in Charlotte, and I said, why did you want to go to Charlotte? Like, you're here in Indianapolis. Why did you want to go to Charlotte? And he told me something that kind of changed my life. He said, we don't have a long time on this earth. And we wanted to work in another location that we wanted to be in. We weren't really concerned with business dynamics and numbers and gobbledygook. We really knew that we and our families would be traveling back and forth to our newest location. And I thought to myself, that's the smartest thing that I've ever heard. Like, I'm looking at all sorts of data and trying to study this in an organized way. And really, New Mexico was a place that we fell in love with. And myself and Randy, we thought that spiritually it connected to us. We thought that the community, the culture was unique. It feels like no place in America. It has a heavy Hispanic culture, which we were drawn to. A lot of Albuquerque. I don't know if you're watching Pluribus right now, but it's the latest Vince Gilligan show on Apple, and it takes place in Albuquerque. And because of that, we said we want to be at Albuquerque. This was over 10 years ago, almost 20 years ago. So we set off to found our office in Albuquerque, and it's been quite a success ever since.
So you're blowing my mind. I'm processing everything that you're saying. I'm really hokey and intuitive and all of that. And I feel like I can relate to what you just said. And I'm reminded of, like, as you were talking, I'm like, some of the best decisions that I've ever made that were like life altering and like awesome, like there was no data surrounding them, which is kind of weird because I'm a data analyst. Like it's the core of what we do at
That's
market.
right.
But I will say they are connected. Like I feel like intuition is another data set that we often overlook. I'll put it
I
in the data box because like, yes, there's data like out there data that you can use, and then there's like in here data. So walk us through how did you process? Was it like that?
Well, yeah, I don't as you're talking, and I'm listening. It was really I don't want to have you believe that we just went out to New Mexico and that was the place. It made sense. New Mexico, Albuquerque was a central hub in a state that has a radio spoke kind of setup, so that all medical, all legal, all services kind of flow into Albuquerque. Therefore, we wanted to be in Albuquerque. Albuquerque was a place that, at the time that we settled, really didn't have a lot of truly sophisticated legal personal injury law firms. There was one or two or three. We felt like we could bring something to the table and help the community in a significant way. Since then, there's been a blooming or flourishing of firms like ours, but different. And we've continued to enjoy much success in Albuquerque. But it was really a combination of both data and intuition. I think, back to your point, that led us there. And like many of life's decisions, at my age, I'm in my early 60s, and you start to look at forks in the road. And I certainly do that. This was certainly a fork in the road for Keller and Keller. I think a very good one. We've built a culture out there. In fact, we just finished a big annual ham giveaway where people in need are able to come to our office and receive a free ham. Things like that, we believe in because it connects us to the community of Albuquerque. We have boots on the ground. We're not like a law firm that advertises in Albuquerque and is not local. We're very, very local. My partner has a house in Albuquerque. Our lawyers live in Albuquerque. Our paralegals are in Albuquerque. We're in one of the largest buildings in Uptown with our name on it. We feel like we are part of New Mexico, and we're proud of that.
So it sounds like you're very much connected to the community. And I mean, I'm processing what you're saying also from a marketing standpoint, right? It sounds like you do some grassroots community outreach, but it doesn't seem to me like your goal is really marketing. It's just what you're doing as a conscientious business owner, which I think is awesome. Walk us through though, like how does that translate for you into good business? Because a lot of people are hesitant to prioritize mission over profits like that because it's
Yeah.
hard for them to wrap their mind around, well, how is this going to actually help me grow my business? Like what I'm hearing from you is you're not worried about it, but it is actually growing your business.
It's that I think that that's true. Many many years ago, as a young kid, my grandfather, who was one of my idols, pulled me aside and said, "Look, if you take care of your clients, they will take care of you. And you've probably heard that before, Margarita, because you speak with people across the country, but it's an ism that I carry with me in life. And I think that that means whether I take care of an individual client, I maximize their settlement, I'm able to take a client to court and win a jury verdict, or I take care of the community in which the clients live in. It always helps our business. There's no question that those elements um, expand upon what we can do and what we do every year. I'm always worried. The moment that I finish with a client that we love, the moment that we complete a great year, I'm always worried. Oh my gosh, when are we going to get in? Are we going to get in another client? Am I going to be able to continue to do this? And it's worked out well so far, year after year. But the most important things I think that we do are really not seen. They're small things like the ham giveaway, the turkey giveaway, the providing a family with a handicap van, all of the various small ventures that we're involved in. And I would say that the successful personal injury law firms. I don't want to come onto your podcast and say that like I'm some great guy and I'm the only one in America that does this, because I know that that's not true. I know that my colleagues, the older I get and the more I look around from my own local communities, whether it's Indianapolis, Albuquerque, or South Bend, or Atlanta or Detroit, there are other lawyers that do just what we do. The good lawyers do what we do because they recognize that it enhances their reputation. There's no other way for me to tell my clients that we're a caring law firm than to display care. My mom would always say that your words don't matter, your actions do. And I think that there are many lawyers out there, many law firms similarly situated to ours that follow that approach. And that's why, carrying sandwich, by the way, I don't know what kind of sandwich I'm going to tell you I like the most because I like lots of sandwiches, but it's why your podcast makes so much sense because good personal injury law firms are in the merchandising of care, of caring for those who we work with.
Hey there, I hope you're enjoying the conversation and your sandwich as much as we are. I want to take a moment to share a few words about our sponsor, Marketing Boss. If you're a law firm owner looking to supercharge your growth, our team at Marketing Boss is here to help. We've got over a decade of experience and a proven track record, and we specialize in growing law firms like yours with data-driven marketing leadership. So if you own a law firm and you're ready to get a predictable, steady flow of cases from your marketing, let's connect at marketing-boss.com.
I appreciate that you understood that without too much of an explanation because a lot of people are like, what does care sandwich have to do with law? And I'm just like, you begin with care, you deliver amazing legal service, and then you follow up with care that, usually does result in growth. So thank you for that. Was there somebody in your life that you feel like just inspired you to like do business like this? Like, do you follow somebody like, or is there like a mentor that you had? Like, how did you like think this way?
Okay, I hope she never watches or listens to this podcast because I'd be embarrassed. I was lucky in life to find a great partner. My wife is fabulous, and in fact, this is kind of a funny story. My own law partner, Randy, when he met he knew me when I was single, and he was one of the first in the family to meet my wife Wendy, and he said, "You've got to marry that person." And I would say that that's the way that she's a very caring person. She's caring with our kids. She's caring with, in the way that she approaches almost everything and anything. And she's incredibly successful at everything and anything that she does. And I've noticed that very, very early on. Um, and, and I guess I'm trying to say that um, if you find you cannot find a successful person without without finding someone who's truly caring of the other. Because I think that we are, as humans, that's who we are, that's how we interact, and the smartest of us all partake. And again, I don't know that I'm the best at it. I feel that I've been very successful and very lucky along the way, to be able to work with the clients that we've run across, and to take care of them. My paralegals feel that way. My intake staff feels that way. I know that my lawyers, from my social security lawyers to my personal injury lawyers, all feel that 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 coddling, communicating, being compassionate, all of those are very important features of the way that we care for our clients. I just came from the dental office, which I hate. There's nothing I hate more than going to the dentist, but I go to an office and I'm really lucky where they care for me, right? And it's because of that element that causes me to go back when I need dental care and I'm not like terrifically afraid. It doesn't matter, whether you're going to your heart surgeon or your personal injury lawyer or your dentist. If they care for you, it's a different experience, and you can feel that. And we hope to to be able to give that back to our clients. So whether it was my wife, whether it was my grandfather, whether it was my father, I'd like to think that I came from it naturally, but I'm sure I didn't. It's an important piece of what I do, what we do as a firm, and how we've become successful.
I love that. And I think that like attracts like. I think that what I'm hearing from you is you had an opportunity to connect with somebody that really, had a lot to give you as far as wisdom and encouragement and a good example. And you were actually open to receive that. You appreciated it. And then now you've built this company culture. Like it's like a trickle effect, really, is what I'm hearing from you. And I think that's amazing. I think, a lot of the times we think, oh, it's like this everywhere, but that's because we're like that. So,
Well, you're very kind. You're very
yeah, no,
kind.
I'm observing it, in what you're describing and your experience that you're describing. And I think it's awesome. And what a good lesson for anybody who's listening and thinking, hey, how do I turn things around in my company? How do I grow? How do I, do things the way that I envision? And it's the formula that I'm hearing from you is you have to receive that first, build it in within yourself, and then you can't help but just express it in what you do and how you run your business and the types of people that you attract and even your experience at the dentist. So I can I can I can relate. Like anytime something bad happens, like I always end up with like a free lollipop or something. Like it always ends up being a fun experience. So I have the same experience. But James, I can talk to you all day. This is really great. I definitely feel like we're kindred spirits. But tell us, how can people get a hold of you if they need legal help? What's the best way to get a hold of you to refer you a case in any of those areas where you practice?
Um, well, our phone number is 1-800, the number two, KELLER, 1-800-253-5537. And we're located, it looks like it's on the bottom of the screen, www.2keller.com. We're easy to get a hold of, and I would be more than happy to speak to other lawyers about anything that we've learned, and have come to understand over the years of practice. I want to thank you, Margarita, because this kind of program I think is excellent. It helps display what personal injury lawyers really do and what they're about. And just looking at some of the people that you've already attracted to your Instagram is super cool. It's a testament to you, and your ability to engage and recognize the kind of work that we all do. So thank you.
Thank you for that. And wow, while we're on the topic, I have to thank my amazing team. I don't post about my team very much on my personal, but we have our marketing boss page. But I have a really awesome team. I can relate to what you described as far as like your team and how they really mirror like your DNA. Like I've been very
Yeah.
blessed as well, and they're so busy all the time, like reaching out, connecting behind the scenes. And so thank you all for making us at Marketing Boss look good. But James, I got one more question for you. It's
Yes.
the one question that you've been stressing out about this whole time. What is
Uh,
your favorite sandwich?
I have to say that it's probably a turkey and corned beef Reuben. I particularly like the sauerkraut part of the Reuben. Um, Corned beef alone is a little too heavy, so there are going to be some haters out there that don't like the idea of mixing turkey and corned beef together, but that would be on a really delicious rye. That would be my favorite sandwich.
That sounds awesome. So somebody really special in my life. She is Polish and she was like a mother to me growing up. And I
Okay,
absolutely am addicted to sauerkraut.
me
We're
too.
like random.
It's
Like,
now
you're
I like
addicted to
kimchi. Kimchi is a close second, which is sort of like an Asian style. It's almost as good. It's a little
yes.
spicier, but no, I love it. My wife, by the way, hates it. She cannot believe that I keep it in the refrigerator. Yeah, she does that. She's not that caring when it comes to sauerkraut.
That's weird. So that's funny. So I buy I don't know about you, but I buy the bag at the grocery store and I put it in the mason jar and I just kind of like put it on
Ah,
and
it's the best. It's about, and also it's supposed to be great for your digestives, everything. It's a good thing. So
oh my
I do like a good Reuben.
How fun. Well, James, thank you so much for sharing this time with us and for sharing your story. I hope that if you're listening right now or watching on social media, that you're encouraged that you can be a caring person and you can attract wonderful employees and you can make your dreams come true and definitely expand and create processes. If you put your mission over your profits, it's definitely doable. So, thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you on the next episode of Care Sandwich.
Thank you so much. Appreciate the time.
Thank you for joining us on this episode of Care Sandwich. Remember, the way we care for our clients, our teams, and ourselves can make all the difference in our success. Until next time, keep caring, keep growing, and I'll see you on the next episode of Care Sandwich.